Hello and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? We love a Sunday special.
Love a Sunday special.
We have a male listener writing in. You're going to get inside the male brain that's not just mine.
Yeah.
These emails.
It's a different kind of male brain than yours.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. I think these emails just tell you so much about people. Like you get a little window into the real thoughts, because when people write in here, and you guys can write in too, uup@betches.com.
Or a voicemail.
We love a voicemail.
We haven't gotten a voicemail in a bit. I feel like we forget to talk about the phone number.
We don't push. What's the number? It's 1-800 I got problems.
We've got it all memorized.
Right?
It's like, hang on. I had it memorized at one point, but it's escaping me now. Oh, 212-589-8903.
Okay.
212-589-8903.
Yes.
So
Love
if
it.
you've got an issue and you're more of a talker and less of an emailer,
Yeah.
leave us a voicemail. I like them. You get some tone.
I love a tone.
It's nice.
Love it. Yeah. And it is.
Watch your tone.
Watch it. I don't like that's like a library and.
Oh, my mom used to say that to us.
Watch
Watch
your
your tone. When we would like raise our voice at her.
Ooh. How you said.
Watch your tone.
I'll probably be one of those parents too.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
We're not like, don't get too like.
Yeah. The way you're saying that, I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah. I can feel the tone.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes the tone needs to be adjusted.
Got to adjust that tone.
Yeah.
So, listen, if you're listening right now, these are the episodes to share. I like saying that, but I want to make sure we encourage that.
Bite-sized.
Bite-sized episode. We get
Fun
into
size,
the
as they call
fun
them.
size. That's right. Fun-sized, just explosion of you up in your mouth.
Okay.
We you up all over your face with these episodes. I'm tired.
Did I just say it was a bite size? Yeah.
Yeah.
These lights are getting to us. They're beating down on us.
Hot. The
It's
weather
warm out.
changed. I turned crazy. I worked out outside yesterday.
And do you feel excited for the summer?
I don't know. I thought about that the other day. I talked to my brother. We're trying to figure out like maybe go somewhere. And I was like, oh my God, summer's coming.
It's almost here.
I don't know if I'm ready for such a thing. I don't know. Like there was an excitement in me to be a single summer guy.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm going to do the same thing again. I don't know.
Well, it's
same
like
old thing. I feel like I've done it already. I need a relationship summer.
Yeah. I mean, they say like the years feel shorter, right? It was just summer. Now it's summer again
Right.
because we've had more of them, more years.
What's the line? I think we've done this before on this podcast.
Yeah.
The years keep coming. They keep on
They
coming.
don't stop coming.
Don't stop coming.
Yeah. You're there.
What do you have planned this summer? Do you have like a plan? Do you have a thing?
I'm trying to plan a trip to Europe in August.
Europe.
I haven't done that yet. I don't know where.
Well, European Jared
Yes,
is
you're
there.
You're gonna have to tell me what. I'm looking for more of like a beach spot.
Yeah.
Probably than Copenhagen, but
I can give you some suggestions for France,
yeah, you loved it there.
Saint-Tropez. Fuck the French. Don't go there.
Okay, and that's the anti-French tourism board.
That's right. No, that was too strong. Maybe don't cut that out. I am who I am.
Whatever. Yeah,
I don't know.
you're more of a Northern Europe kind of guy.
That's right. Cold weather Europe. So I'm growing in this beard.
And that's why you should go see Jared
Yes.
in Berlin, London, Oslo.
I've said it so many times that you've memorized it.
I'm trying to remember.
Dublin,
Belfast,
Copenhagen,
Amsterdam.
That's it.
Okay. And come see the U Up live show in Chicago, which is coming up in just a few weeks.
Get those tickets for Chicago. Is it the most single city in America? Why did we say that on the...
We did?
Apparently on the promotion slide, it said most single city in America, Chicago, Illinois.
Maddie,
and I got all
explain
these
yourself.
responses being like, is it real? And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't work here.
Yeah. Just own the place, right?
I did not make that copy. I
Okay.
assume whoever did research it.
Fired.
It
Pa-
specifically
passing the
said
buck.
Chicago versus Miami. So I don't know if it's the most. Did it say the most single? I'm Googling now.
It said something about their singledom.
As for women, the most singles are living in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York?
That's
Good.
what
Fuck
it says
that
for
town
women.
too. The France of the United States.
I don't think anyone would call
Buffalo,
Buffalo,
too.
New York, the France of the United States.
I would for annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll double check that statistic with Taylor and see where that came from.
Okay, we're gonna have to check. We're gonna do a little check, but no. Listen, I love Chicago. I think it's a great town to be single in. Young, fun, bars, food, people. The summer in Chicago, no better summer
Great,
spot.
yeah.
That 1 week they got
Perfect
of summer,
temp.
perfect temp. They got that Navy Beach. It's a great town.
Good
Chicago, Boston, DC, Philly, New York. We're doing a U Up Live. The U Up Live is such a fantastic show. And listen, if you want to know what a U Up Live looks like, go to our YouTube page. We have a full show on there.
Yes, you can get a little sampler. But the energy, you're not even going to get the same energy as you get when you're in the room
in
with
the
your
room.
red flag or deal breaker paddle,
Right.
sipping your faux pas. It's going to be the best day. Just
Amazing.
imagine it. Imagine it.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay.
Yeah. And
Feel the wind in your hair. Take a sip of that faux pas. Does it taste good? Delicious? Now listen to the screams from the stage.
hopefully they don't sound like that.
I hope
That
it's
was
a little
weird.
more energy
That
than
was
that.
weird. That's just going to be the scream from
Jordana,
me.
Jordana just did a seagull.
Yeah, I
think.
sounded like
yeah.
I just got shot.
Right.
I'm dying. Yeah, it's going to be great. And if you want to come on stage with us, or
Ooh.
perhaps you want to nominate a friend to come on stage with us for one of our segments, we have a deal reveal segment, we
Right.
have awkward sex.
Nami a pal.
Yeah, just a general email, dating app makeover. Email us at uup@betches.com and in the subject, write which show you're coming to,
Right.
and which segment you're applying for.
When it's in the room, when people in the room have the questions, that is the best shows we have. So, especially for our opening email, like if you have like a real situation you're going through, I love if we could start the show with you. That'd
Yeah.
be great. So, if it's a general question, yes. Dating app makeover, yes. Deal reveal, yes. So
We do it all.
we do it all. Just title it You Up Live submission. Let's get to the email.
Let's do it. Let's jump right in.
Jump right in. 8 minutes in. We look at this is a jump right in moment. We got a thumbs
Perfect
up.
amount of time.
Right. Jorge gave us a thumbs up on jumps
Well,
right in.
we've recently learned it's not. We really can't jump right in. We need a little intro.
We need some intro,
It's a
not a lot.
special sauce.
That's right. That is it's a sweet spot. Any
Okay.
thoughts on Ozempic? Okay, let's move on.
Wegovy. What is the other competitor?
Is there another one?
I think I never knew. So I just find it so shocking that everyone knows like about these like diabetes drug names that no one would have cared about before.
Well, I mean, the commercials, they were just on.
yeah,
and then
I think
all
they're
this-
on for a while, right?
No, I've seen the idea that like I recognize the name Ozempic because like it plays during like 60 minutes.
Oh yeah, it does. That's
Look,
like,
Jorge and
jingle.
Maddie are laughing at us that we're actually getting back into this conversation.
Sorry, we can't help ourselves.
No, it is something you like. There are like I don't understand why we have commercials for
Drugs,
drugs. Ask your doctor
Doctor, yeah.
about
Cialis.
right. Why would I need to know that? But I guess you ask your doctor.
I guess that's sort of like if you're not someone who's like researching all your ailments constantly, like one of us neurotic Jews.
right.
Maybe you're kind of like, oh, I kind of have that depression. Maybe I should
I-
ask my doctor about Zoloft.
So ask your doctor. Yeah, I don't. It's really. Sometimes it feels like we're pawns.
They must do something because they've been running them for years.
Listen. The people don't spend money for no reason.
That's true.
That's right. You want me to read the email?
I do.
Okay. Deal reveal. Where did these texts go wrong?
Let's find out.
Ooh. Jordana and Jared, all the feathers. Someone asked me what feather means.
We got every few months we need to do a little explanation of feathers for the new people here.
I'll explain it. It's from my podcast,
Yes.
the J Train podcast. I used to thank people for sharing the podcast in the way that we talk about it here. Share, share, share.
Rate, review, and subscribe. Haven't asked that in a while.
Now we're asking. Rate, review, subscribe.
Yes.
Share with a friend. Send to the group chat. These are all kind of devices to remind you, hey, we'd love some payment for this quality program we put out there. A form of payment on the internet is sharing.
sharing, reviewing, subscribing.
So people would tag me as their Instagram stories with the podcast. And I used to say, when someone makes it their Instagram stories, I think that's a very powerful way to share the show because it's a non-invasive way. It's kind of a passive way to share the show. So like, and everyone's looking at your Instagram stories and everyone sees everything, but everyone doesn't care.
Right.
There's an element of watching stories where you like watching, but you don't care. But you see something tagged, you go, what's this thing that's tagged that I don't know about? Because you want to know about it. You're curious.
Right.
So when you share the You Up podcast as your Instagram story, people look at it and we're likely to maybe get a listener from that. So I say when people make their Instagram stories, it felt as good as them taking a feather and feathering my nuts.
Right.
And I used to do these long-winded explanations of I was walking through a dewy meadow. And I'm
meditation,
naked.
If you will.
A meditation, right. Okay. And we used to play like, Jorge, can you play some background dewy meadow? Do you have some here? Oh, that's not.
He's like, get to the email.
So that might work. Put on that one.
That's making me quite anxious.
Right, that is a little anxiety. Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
So I'm walking.
Kind of sounds like there's a rodent.
It's a little rodent-y, but it'll work. Okay. So when you guys make it your Instagram story, it's as if I'm walking through a dewy meadow. I'm completely naked. And I'm walking through, and you are a little fairy holding a feather. And I squat down, and you take that feather, and you fly it from my anus to the end of my penis, and back and forth, and up the seam of the nuts, and down the seam of the nuts. And that's what it feels like when you guys share it as your Instagram story.
Well, I'm getting visuals more of a hamster wheel. But
does that make yes. So that's what feather has become from.
Yeah, and now you know.
Now you know.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know. You sharing the podcast feels as good as you miniaturized as a flying fairy, feathering my nuts.
And reviewing and subscribing.
Yes, that helps because Jordana loves reading the
I read them all. It's my favorite activity.
Okay, so here we go. I recently met a girl and went on several great dates, some intimacy, but never slept together. We had dinners, coffees, went on a hike, which I love doing, and thought that could be a thing we do together. A bit of background. I'm a 36-year-old male, divorced for 5 years now, and she is 34, female and never married. After seeing each other a few times in early February, per the advice of the podcast, I couldn't ignore it was Valentine's Day. So we had dinner and went back to her place. We had fun, fooled around a bit, but she made it clear she wasn't ready to have sex with me. I was totally cool with that because we both have to be emotionally and mentally in the same place at the same time. The next day, I knew I really liked her, and I dropped an admittedly premature bomb of let's be exclusive, to which she laughed off, as did I, to make it seem like I was making a funny.
Got her.
Funny. Yeah, got us, I guess. But I really did like this girl. I called a few times over the next 2 days to just chat. And then she said we needed to talk about our communication styles. We had a great talk about how my amount of calls felt invasive to her.
Why is that a great talk?
Yeah. Well,
we had a wonderful talk about how I'm smothering her to death.
I totally apologized and agreed to just hit her by text, and she could call when she was free. I felt like things were resetted a bit, but about how she wanted to take things slow. Again, I really liked her, so I was totally cool with that. We saw each other a few more times after that. For sure, a different energy, slower pace, no physical intimacy, which I was okay with. After the last time we saw each other, we agreed to have dinner on Friday, but by Tuesday, she called and told me she was having issues sleeping, anxiety, and said that it was done. She wasn't or didn't seem angry at all, but more than a few times said I was a good guy, quote unquote. I've gotten this moniker of quote unquote good guy so many times over the years, and I'm starting to get pissed. Good guy go bad. So many people I know want to meet a good guy. Then I keep getting told, hey, you want to be in a relationship too fast, but you're a good guy. Do I have to find the inner asshole or douche in me to find a great woman? What's wrong with just telling someone you like them when you know you do? Especially when I am in my late 30s and don't want to fuck around anymore. Thanks for all you do. The quote-unquote guy who is starting to hate being quote-unquote good. Fabulous email.
Amazing email. So relatable.
Totally relatable.
You see this all the time. And I feel like this is a recurring theme from the male emails that we get, where it's
Right.
like, woman keeps saying they just want a guy who's responsive and consistent and likes them and keeps asking them out. And then when we do, they're like, I want, actually, no.
Right.
Turned off. Get the ick.
Get the ick. Yeah. You came on too strong.
Right. And this reminds me of another conversation that we've had lately about sort of a level of game. I don't want to call it game playing, because we always advise against game playing, right?
Right.
But the other side of that is that if you tell someone that you're like, we would, in a normal scenario, we would say this sounds like a little bit like a reveal, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? When he says, let's be exclusive. Just kidding. But there,
Who would want to be exclusive at 35?
but there is another level to it where it's
Right.
like, if you do your reveal too soon, is that a turnoff? Is there a certain amount of like playing it cool that is necessary? Or if someone says, I want to be exclusive, or I like you after a few dates or something like that, is that playing your cards too soon? Or if it's right, does it not even matter?
Right. And I think both can be true. Like, this is a problem for him because he says it's happening a lot.
Right.
It's not just one person. I think if it was one person, I would go, she wasn't India.
Right.
And I can understand, like, from her side of things, I kind of understand her thought process. This is a great guy.
Yeah.
Checks
I
boxes.
want to like him.
I want to like him.
Yeah,
That's why
and
it
I've
went
had
as
that.
long as it went.
Right.
I've had that.
And that's the difference, I think. I think men are less prone to, I want to make this work.
I'll say I have had this
Okay.
in my older age.
I would love this to work.
I want the response of anxiety, sleeplessness, and is something I relate to from her end.
Right.
Where I have felt almost depressed going out with people who I'm like, boom, 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 like all these things on a list
Right.
that someone would go, fantastic, like what an opportunity, and going, why aren't I fucking there?
Right.
So it is, I'm saying from her end, there's,
I understand her side as well. Like, I
Yeah.
felt that also. I guess to ask you the question, as someone who's felt it also, do you feel like if the other person with more withholding, they were the same exact person, just less outrightly into you, you would be more into them?
I think I would let it go longer. I don't think I would be, I think, especially for this, they go on a few dates, they go on, and I don't think she was questioning this as late into the game as he was getting questions.
How so?
Like he says in the beginning, everything's great. Well, the beginning, everything's great because like
No one
there's
owes
no
anything.
stakes.
Well, yeah, no one knows anyone anything.
Right. And you go, no one owes anything. So
Yeah.
zero stakes. We're going out. We're having drinks. I say these things. You say these things. We get to know each other. Great, good, wonderful. Then they say, let's go on a hike. He goes, I love a hike. This is something we could do together. And she's like, should I go on the hike? He checks a lot of boxes.
Right.
And then I like him.
Well,
He's
the
a
way
good
you're
guy.
saying it seems like the answer is much clearer, right? I guess that's to give her the benefit of like, or not maybe not the benefit of, because my question is like, let's say she was really into him and then just turned off by his being too into her. It's a different story than she's kind of been on the fence the whole time.
Right. I think she's been on the fence the whole time.
Okay.
That's where
It's possible.
I think there's versions. But I think what you're getting at is an important thing too. But I think there's versions of it. I know that I've gone on a first date, been like, it was fun, and then I'm like, go on the second.
Right.
Go. And your friends tell you, you tell me, go.
Yeah.
Just go, enjoy. And you go on the second, you go, that was fun, it was great. Go, enjoy. And then the physical stuff comes up, and she pulls back.
Right.
She pulls back on the physical because she's going, I'm going, but I'm going because
Right.
I got my friends and the little check.
I'm
the
not sure if
box.
well, this is the thing that women do that men don't do is they'll pull back because they're like, I'm not sure I'm attracted.
Right,
I'm not sure.
right. And I think she was never
Yeah.
sure.
That's very possible.
The physical,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it's this scenario, like the to me, like the physical stuff not happening kind of tells the tale of like, I'm going on these because I'm just great on paper, not getting that ushy mushy feeling in my stomach
Right.
that I can't explain. I'm getting mad at myself because now I'm so many dates in. And then she goes, we had to talk about the calls. They felt invasive. So she thinks maybe if I get them to change a little bit with the calls, I'll be different.
Right. Maybe if he withholds a little bit.
Right.
I guess the minute you're asking someone to withhold from you,
Is the
you're
minute.
not really interested in them.
Right. And she's
Yeah.
trying to find the perfect recipe to be with a great guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think but I think like,
I mean, she's the only one. She didn't write in, and we don't know her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the question is, for her, is she the kind of person who was only interested in people who are withholding? That's a possibility. There's many people out there, men and women,
Mm-hmm.
who are more attracted to people who are holding back from them.
so agreed. I see a lot of myself in her in this scenario.
Okay.
I've been in this situation, especially, when he writes, I'm 35, when I'm in my late 30s and don't want to fuck around anymore. Yeah, that also, I relate to that too. Like we in the stand-up special, I talk about like 38 and single. You're done with level 1 dating.
Right.
Like you want to get to the hike. You want to get, what you like to do. You just want to bring someone into that. And you don't want to do the interviewee first date. You want to be comfortable right away. You know what you're looking for. And
you don't want to go back to step 1.
Right. And he's like, I think that when you're that guy and they're going, well, a lot on paper, they're not ready to do that. So that's why he's getting a lot of like, you're a good guy, because they're going, yeah, I should want to do all those things.
Right. Because technically you are what I'm looking for, but I
Right.
don't really
I'm just
feel
not.
that thing. But I'm saying like he might just be getting rejected. I don't think he's doing anything wrong by being the guy who, I think he shouldn't change. Like, this is who he is. He's looking for something serious, and and he liked her and he was ready to go there. I think by doing that reveal and scaring her off, he's doing a good thing for himself.
Right. The other thing that you brought up though is like, what's a game he could play? I think there is a game to play that he's not kind of doing that we talked about.
Well, what's the game?
think
is
that-
it okay to play games under certain scenarios? There's our title.
Right. I think it is. I think it's okay. I think the one thing you do when you care a lot is you call, let's do this, let's do that. You start trying to fill up the calendar. You're like, fuck, I got one that's so great. We should hike, we should brunch, we should walk, we should date,
You wanna
we
go
should
hard,
trip,
yeah.
we should Europe, we should meet
caught
the
one,
parents.
yeah.
I got one.
Let's go all in.
And you kind of squeeze it to death.
Yeah.
And I think, and then you go, oh, they're getting away. Let me name it.
I mean, grab it even harder. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, to me, it's like, it goes back to the sales thing. I think acting as if. Like, I think to me, the things I want to be included on are the things that are already happening with or without me.
Okay.
I think that's when
Give me
you
an
go,
example of that.
you and I should go to Europe is different than I'm going to Europe
Okay.
in June. And just having
Right.
that out there. But Europe is strong. But like I go to the park on Saturdays.
Right.
We should go to the park on Saturdays.
You're saying too much?
I think a little more. I think it's a different way to say it. I think it's a different presentation.
I see what you're saying. So like, I'm going to this party on Saturday night. If you want to meet me there,
I'd love it if you
cool,
came and
yeah.
joined.
But I'm going regardless.
But
as
I'm
opposed to, do you want to? Should we go to this party on Saturday?
Right.
Implies. I guess that's a low form, socially acceptable level of game playing.
Right.
It's not gendered.
It's not gendered.
Yeah.
And it's this thing of like, I have my own life. I want someone to be a part of my own life. I'm inviting you into it.
Right.
And I think with him, it's like, I don't know
I
exactly
also
what
think
he's doing. I think this is a strategy of calming yourself down.
Right. I agree with you in terms of that. He seems a little anxious.
Right.
Right. He seems like, especially if he's getting this a lot, like you said, there's a pattern where he's maybe coming on very strong, very quickly, perhaps without the real necessary intimacy to get to that level. Like
He mentioned Valentine's Day.
Right. Like you said, like he's trying to perhaps artificially lock someone in
Right.
when they're not really there yet.
And that doesn't really feel great from the other end.
Yeah.
You go, oh, fuck, this person really likes me. They're trying to get me to do this with them. I can't agree to that because that says something else about what I think of them.
And the thing about this, though, is it's not even about her.
No.
This guy's doing this with a lot of people. So
Right.
it almost like cheapens what he's doing anyway. It's not like he's like, I rarely feel this way and I want to lock. If he's getting told by multiple people that he's a good guy, but there's nothing there, maybe he needs to be more discerning in who he's looking for, or like wait for there to be a real, actual, mutual two-way connection before trying to lock it in.
And right, you're right. And a real event that you have coming up that you want to have someone there with you.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to like, John Mayer and you're going with a few friends and one of the friends drops out and you go, I have an extra ticket. That's a great memory moment for you both, rather than John Mayer's coming to town. 2 months.
Right.
Let's lock that in.
Yeah. Are you in or are you out?
And it also, they're 35. He says he's 35. I'm 38. Millennials fucking hate. We tap us. We want to try. We don't want no commitment. You're kind of playing to the generation too. When you're like,
Yeah.
I'm
He's like-
doing this. You can join me. And I would like for you to be there, but I don't need you to be there.
Yeah. And to defend him, I do understand, like, he is like, I'm 36. I'm not really looking to like play the game or fuck. Like,
No.
I'm actually looking to like meet someone and get married and
He's not
again,
wrong.
and and do this thing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think he needs to act like saying he needs to act like an asshole, or be like rude to people in order to get that.
No,
I think
not
it's
at
just
all.
more like maybe making it less of his life, taking a little bit of the pressure off of it, which I think can cause people to like become a little smothering or become a little bit too much too soon.
Right.
Is when they're overextending themselves in this one area of their life. So instead
Right.
of it being like 20% of their life is like dating and going out with people, it's like 60. And so they like feel so much anxiety about it. So they try to like lock it in.
Right.
As opposed to having that casual thing with it where it's like, we're going to go out. If I meet someone, it's great. And if we're having a good time, I don't need to like feel so anxious that I need to close it in immediately in order to feel okay.
It's funny. I need more of him and he needs more of me. Mm-hmm. I need.
When I was dating, I was more like him. And I was
Right.
like wishing, if I in my mind, if I could go back, I would do it more like you.
Right.
Yeah.
And listen, these are all our issues.
Yeah.
There's no perfect person out there. But it's like, if he could do a little bit more of because how many times have I been, we had an episode where I went for coffee with a woman. Remember
Right.
we talked about it, and the coffee date was like,
She was really into the coffee date.
She was like,
she thought it was a lot more than it was.
right. And I'm just like getting coffee with someone I like.
That's
and
the thing.
I think he needs, and I need to make more we should go on the hike. I would never, but
Whatever your version, you should go for coffee.
Right.
Or whatever.
We should eat
put
too much
more weight
Chinese
into
food.
it.
I need to put more weight into it, and also do less of, if you want to join me for some hike, because that is saying something.
Right.
You know what
and if you're self-aware about how much effort and how much weight percent weight of your life you're putting on that thing,
Yeah.
then I think you could probably adjust the handles a little bit, etch away at how much pressure you're putting on that, which I think takes the pressure off of everyone. When one
Right.
person it's like, as anyone ever walk into a store or feel like a salesperson is just like desperate for the sale. You're
Right.
like, I've got to get out of here. Like, this makes
Totally.
me want to buy this thing less because you seem like so intense about making sure that I buy it.
Well, back to the sale metaphor, to this kind of game that we're presenting. If you need anything, I'm over here.
Right.
It's totally different than what are you looking for?
Right.
It's
Let me
different.
check. Right. Oh, try this one on and make sure that looks great. Like when you can tell when someone's like overdoing it, like doing whatever they can to close the deal.
I was at a store the other day. This woman comes up to me. She goes, "What are you looking for?" I go, I just wandered in. And she goes, I go, "Do you have men's stuff?" That's what I asked. She goes, "Oh my God, it's all over here." Brings me over. She goes, "These are great. These are like a signature thing."
What size are you? I'll get them for you. I'll put
Right.
them in the back.
And so
Right,
she
yeah.
goes, "You probably be an XL. You probably be this." And I go, "Okay, go." So I go, "Is there a place to try it on?" And she goes, "Go in the back." She brings it over. And I felt like when I didn't want it, I had to apologize to her.
Right. Makes you want to never come back to the store.
Ever in my life. And I was like, "I'm sorry. I made you go and do this. I made you do." She goes, "It's my job." And he's probably thinking the same thing. Well, what are you apologizing for? I love going hiking. I wanted you to come with it. It's my job. You know, like and you go, "I don't want to make you do anything. I want to feel like I'm getting to know you while also like it's low stakes."
Right.
Right.
It's not like it's so much pressure.
I have been on dates where this kind of happens where they go, you'll get a message sent to you and you have to deal with the message.
Okay.
This is kind of what we were talking about, where it's like, you'll be on a date and they'll go, "I like you." And you're like, fuck. This next date, there's pressure on it.
Right.
It's and it's like, I'm not saying to hold back. That's how you feel, but that's why I'm like, it'll end earlier. Like this woman, the talk was a prelude to the ending.
Yeah.
The
But I do-
call me less
Yeah.
was
I
them,
agree. And I think if it is this like 1 in a million really special connection, maybe that's the exception.
when it works, it's easy.
Yeah.
You go, "Well, why didn't everything go that way?"
Yeah.
Well, because you weren't the match.
And it rarely just happens immediately
Right. Never. Very
Yeah.
rarely.
from both sides.
Sometimes both sides are on the same page. 5 minutes in, week later, different pages.
Yeah.
It happens that way too.
It's the nature of dating.
That's it. But good thing we're here to solve it.
Yes. Good luck.
I like this guy. Don't be a dick.
No.
You're
I hate
doing
when
it
people-
right.
I hate when guys come to that conclusion.
Right.
I'm
No.
too nice. I treat them worse. They'll like me more. It's like, that's not the answer.
No, the answer is, I think if he shifts it even a little, it's
Take
going to
some
be
pressure off of it.
Right.
It's about the pressure, not about the way you're acting as too nice.
I'm here if you need any help.
Yeah.
That's such like a perfect metaphor, though. The person helping in the clothing store. I'm here.
Right. And here's the thing. We all know ourselves better than other people, right?
Right.
So we all know our own tendencies. If he's like, my tendency is to maybe overdo it a little early in dating, it's okay to be like, again, I'm not like withholding to play the game to have you chase me, but like maybe if I have an urge to call you 3 times in one day, I could say, if I've gotten this feedback a lot, maybe I just call you once.
Right.
Maybe I text you.
Right. Maybe
Tell
I
you-
text or
right.
maybe I save it for the plan
Yeah.
that you'll go on.
Right.
Hey, I'm actually out in the park. I'm having a coffee. You want to come meet me?
Yeah.
That
And he knows, that's what I'm saying. He knows himself. If he's getting this feedback a lot, he might want to just pull back a little bit just for self-awareness sake.
the problem with men, and I hear it from, I hear you, brother,
Right.
is like, there's not a lot of people to call,
get this advice,
like
yeah.
a lot of men.
Well, for women, you're not getting the straight answer anyway. No one's going to tell you that you're, being extremely clingy.
Right. But I'm saying like he's probably a little lonely. He's 35, divorced. His friends are all married.
Right. No
Who's
one
he
has good
gonna?
advice
So
for
he's
him.
got this woman here who's listening to him. He likes her.
Right. Well, we're here for you.
Yeah, give us a call. We have a voicemail. You can just keep leaving voicemails. We gave the number out. in the
But I'm
beginning.
saying self-awareness and changing, like, I don't think anyone should change who they are. Because I don't think just tweaking your behavior is changing your fundamental personality. You shouldn't be an asshole, but you're not an asshole if you don't call someone 3 times in one day,
Right.
And they don't pick up, and then you keep calling.
You're not an asshole if you, instead of saying, we should do a coffee date on Saturday, you say, I'm out walking with some coffee if you want to come meet me at the West Side Highway.
Right. That's not an asshole. That's
No.
just someone who's taking it back a notch.
Right. I think male, female, this I think is a good strategy for
Either
all.
one. Yeah. For
Yeah.
me too. I mean, for me, I had the opposite issue where I was like afraid to initiate any contact. But then it's like, if I look inside myself and I'm self-aware, it's like, I could use showing someone more into them,
Right.
maybe in a more like in the other way. So it's like, usually giving a little in the other direction, in your mind, you're like, he's in his mind, he's like, oh, if I don't text her one day, she's gonna think I'm an asshole. But it's like, if you're fundamentally not that person, no one's ever really going to think that.
Absolutely. We did it. We solved dating again.
So proud of us.
Keep sending your emails, uup@betches.com. Keep feathering our nuts with sharing.
wheels.
Hamster wheels. Sharing. Make your Instagram story. Yeah, there's the hamster wheel.
It sounds like that, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It sounds like a creaky,
Yeah.
no oil can.
So lovely.
That's right. And listen, we love a Sunday special. 36 minutes. Share. Let a friend know.
Yes. We'll be back on Wednesday. Bye.
Boom.
The U Up podcast is produced by Sean Kilby, Maddie Paul, and Jorge Morales Pico. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico. Social media by Maddie Paul. Be sure to follow @u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.